It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated, Book of the Dead.
Oh, come. Oh, you can hear its faint echo right now. I'm here to turn up the volume. To press the stinking face of humanity into the dark blood of its own secret heart. Oh, it's unbearable, isn't it? The suffering of strangers, the agony of friends. There is a secret song at the center of the world, Joey. And its sound is like razors through flesh.
Welcome to the Brocast.
Oh,
Yeah, we're recording. I think it's going. Alright, so obviously I didn't shave my beard.
oh yeah,
So
you didn't?
I don't have to shave my beard yet. I haven't.
You still undecided?
No, I haven't met the. No, I keep applying for this job and don't hear anything back, and then they'll send me an email. Hey, we'd like to receive your application. And I resend it again, and they're like, hey, we got your application. Could you go on our website and fill out this form? I'm like, okay, did it again. And then never heard anything back. And just now got another one. Hey, we'd like to get your application. And they got 3 locations, Akron, Solon, and Cleveland. Did the Akron first. Got nothing. Then they're like, hey, we'd like to get your application for this job in Solon. I'm like, fuck it, I'll try there. Nothing. All the same bullshit. Go on, fill out this form. Then they're like, oh, hey, we'd like to get your application for the place in Cleveland. I was like, what the fuck? Fuck you guys. I don't even, you're that disorganized?
Yeah, let's just start pulling out 5 different hairs and putting them in envelopes and sending them to them.
What? What? Huh? Why
Because
would
they want you to shave. Yeah, that's bad.
Oh, we're gonna
That's
cut.
bad.
I'm not gonna cut that out.
I
Leave
would,
that
because
in
that
there.
wouldn't make sense at all.
It's only if I got the job. But I don't even care anymore about them. This sounded cool at first, and it's the same pay rate at each location that they keep sending me. So, and plus this new job's closer, so I have to fucking.
In Cleveland? Fuck that.
Yeah. Well, they were gonna pay me pretty good money. That's pretty good money. It was almost worth it. Yeah. Like $30 an hour to start. But it's also crazy ass hours where I could be on call in the middle of the night. I could be working fucking every weekend. And
Yeah,
that's not worth it. Time is valuable.
So is your beard.
Yeah, my beard is very. But I haven't met the new big boss at my place yet. And the guy's like, hey, he kind of like likes to bust balls. So he might say something about your beard. And I was like, as long as you don't make me shave it, then I thought, I know what I'm going to say when he says something about my beard. And they're like, okay, I'll quit. and then you guys bad. They're always like, how do you like it? Do you like it? Or is it okay? Are you alright? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like, they don't want me to quit.
Oh, I thought you were thinking, like, what's your turnaround rate here?
Dude, it's not bad. They're just taking on more business now. So they don't want to lose anyone. And the one guy doesn't normally work there is leaving at the end of next week because his actual location's in Florida, and he's come up to help because they're trying to stay ahead instead of get behind. Enough about that. I still got my beard. Still cool for another day. Got my beard and got a beer. Keith's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, bro.
Birthday.
Cheers to that. Cheers to getting old. Cigarette button it.
Oh.
We survived the last podcast was Uncle Jerry's birthday party. And we showed up 20 minutes too late and missed our old ass dad fighting someone in the driveway. Which I haven't seen dad fight. So it's been fucking amazing. I did when I was like 5 and he had to run up to the gas station. No, I was like 4 or 5 when we like first moved up from North Carolina. First thing in the mornings I always woke up early. I gotta run to the gas station and get cigarettes. And I guess he ran into some dude. I guess he banged his girlfriend or whatever. Met her at the bar or whatever. So, like, I'm sitting in the car while he goes inside and gets the cigarettes and comes out the pump. And next thing I know, I just, like, hear yelling and, like, muffled talking and look up and this dude in a van in him or in the parking lot, like, yelling at each other. And he was parked like 2 pumps over, so I see Dad walking over towards his car as they're like bitching at each other. And then I couldn't see anything because the pumps were in the way. And I just hear like all this commotion and shit. And then Dad just comes over quick as fuck, gets in the car. I don't even think we got the gas. We just got in the car and he left. And he was like, yeah, he didn't explain the whole thing to me then. But he's like, yeah, he reached in his car and saw him trying to grab like a tire iron or something, so I slammed his arm in the door and came back over here and we left.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
While he was smoking a cigarette.
But I didn't see him actually fight, you know, I wasn't aware of anything, like being that little and what was going on. But we get the Uncle Jerry's birthday party and Dad's leg's all busted up and his face is got a bruise on it from the dude punched in. And it's our stepmom's sister's boyfriend arguing about dumb shit until my dad's like, you got our dad, not just my dad. You guys are my brothers. So it's called the Brokeass. Tells him it's going to come down to either you're going to hit me or just get the fuck out of here. And he shoved him. An elderly man who can't fucking stand on his own. And this dude's like probably 6 inches taller to 8 inches taller than Dad is. And just shoves him down on the ground. And so then he gets up and grabs him by his collar and shoves him up against the house and starts blasting on his face. And then he said he got one shot in on him. And you could tell, you could see the bruise on his cheekbone. I'm like, well, that's going to take the rest of your life to heal. Yeah, poor circulation. And his leg was all busted up and bloody.
Yeah, we still didn't get to see video of it.
No, he's got cameras set up, and I don't even know how to access my cameras to see if, like, what if something happened? What's the point of having them?
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
And Richard couldn't figure out the password either.
Because that dude, literally, his name is Dick.
Wow.
He's dumb
He's
fucking
retarded.
Dick.
Dick Burns.
Old Dick Burns. His last name is Burns.
Richard Burns.
Yep. Dick Burns. And if you look at him, you'd be like, that dude's Dick probably Burns.
Dick is Burns.
He looks like a scrubby ass fucking dude.
He's the worst.
Alright,
Yeah, I wish
so
I would have seen it.
no, there would have been nothing to see. As soon as he shoved that, if we were there, that dude would have been in the hospital.
I would have fucked Billy up so bad.
Billy's a female, by the way.
We think.
Yeah. Well, allegedly.
Name is Billy.
Yeah. They knew she was going to be Billy the Beast. That's what they called her. She was a lineman for the Browns in the 70s. Alright, so let's get into some topics. So, speaking of parent stories, Don's said he's been contacted multiple times, so start from the beginning, take it slow. So it was over a week ago, and then there's like a couple days later.
There's like 3 different segments.
Alright, let's segment it up.
So the first one.
This is what, last weekend? Or last week?
This is probably
the week before last.
Week before last. It was the first call. And then Dad called me and I asked him if he figured out his password because I still want to see the video and see what happened just because.
Yeah.
He said no, Richie couldn't figure it out. And then Richie came over the next day and asked Dad if he could take him to Ravenna to get a cell phone for his girlfriend to repair for somebody to get money.
That's a long way to go.
My dad was like, "What? I'm not driving all the way to Ravenna to get a phone." He's like, What do you mean?" He's like, "Richie, I'm not driving you to Ravenna to get your drugs." And I guess Richie flipped out on him. And my first thought was, "Oh shit, here we go. There's another fight."
Dad's beating up everybody in
Dad's
their
gonna beat the fuck
family.
out of somebody else. On Mom's side. So I guess Richie was standing at the door, and Mom, she said she was like in the dining room or whatever. Dad sitting on the couch. "Well, fuck you anyway." And I guess Richie just went off. "I'll never ask you for a fucking ride anyway. And if I see you on the side of the road," he's like, "I wouldn't even piss on you if you were burning on fire, or if you were on fire. I wouldn't even piss on you to put you out."
Oh, cool, 1960s reference.
Yeah. So then all that goes away, and he was like, "Whatever, Richie, like, don't ever come back to my house." So he goes back to the
Cookout's gonna be fun.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be great. Goes back to
He'll walk his fat ass down and eat 6 burgers next time.
his mom's house, and then so Dolores calls and tries to figure all that shit out, and my mom explains it to her, and then I guess Dolores and Joe, is that the other dude, her husband?
Yeah.
I guess they yelled at Richie and like told him like, what do you think you're fucking doing? Because then he went back over there and asked Joe, "Hey, can you take me to Ravenna?" Dave won't do it because he's a piece of shit. Started talking trash about him, and that's what Dolores was like, "What the fuck's going on?" So she called Mom. Anyways, all that shit happened. That's beside the point because that's all over apparently. Second call.
The same within
No.
how long?
This is probably 4 more days later. So he called me again. I asked him how all that went. He's like, "Oh, it's all just whatever. I haven't seen Richie, and neither has Dolores for like fucking 5 days. So he must have gotten around, or he's dead."
Ravenna.
Yeah, he must have. Yeah, he's on his way back still. And it was about those freaking skids. About going to pick up those skids.
Yeah, okay.
And he was like, and it was Saturday because he was like, or no, Friday.
Yeah,
He
he
asked
called
me
you
if I could
Friday,
work
because you
tomorrow.
text me. Told
Yeah.
you to go fix your trailer at night time so you can get it while you're at work.
I'm like, "Dad, it's fucking like 7 o'clock at night. I'm not going to go out there and fix it when I have to go to work tomorrow." He's like, "All right, well, just leave it out front." I was like, "Dad, I have to fix it." "What do you mean? I'm not just going to leave it out front. It's broke. I got to fix it before I even put it out here." "No, just leave it out front. Kenneth will pick it up. I'll follow him. It doesn't matter if it's got a busted tail light on it. I'll follow him and make sure that..." I was like, "All right, Dad. You told me they were like 9 or 12-foot skids, but it's an 8-foot trailer. So you're going to put it this way and fucking take up 2 sides of the fucking...
Take out every mailbox.
So I told him no and all that. And then he gets in and starts talking about Missy.
Why? What's the point? She hasn't even been around.
Because she's getting out, and my mom was there apparently. She's getting out in a month. Whatever, a bunch of bullshit. And then he goes, "Forget the trailer. I got Kenneth to come out." He's like, me and him are just gonna go do it. We're gonna put one in my truck and one in his truck." I was like, "Okay."
That's what you should have done to begin with.
Yeah. So then he goes, "Oh, and Dale just left us." And for a minute I was like, "Dale who?"
He died?
Because I forgot about Dale
He
living
left
there.
us like that?
He's like, "No,
he left the earth."
He went to a trip to West Virginia, I guess, with his ex-girlfriend,
The wheelchair lady?
and her husband."
He's such a cuck. He's such a fucking cuck. Look, can you help hold her legs up for me?
Are you just standing there playing with your swords? Oh my god.
Yo, put your knives down. Hold these legs. Grab an
It's
ankle.
like, no, actually. So he said the next day, Dale comes over with, who's Joe, and they start packing up all of his stuff. And Mom's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm moving to Pennsylvania. Like, to the farthest end of Pennsylvania.
To where?
Pottsville, Pennsylvania, which is pretty much like,
But like with
New
who?
York, with his ex-girlfriend and her husband. Moving in with them. And Mom and Dad were like, what do you mean? We told you, like, when you moved in here.
That you had to stay?
And
we're gonna...
You
told...
These are
it gets worse.
It gets worse.
You're not allowed to
It
leave.
gets worse. Mom and Dad were like, we told him when he moved in here, you cannot move in here unless you stay here 2 years at least. Because last time when he moved in with them in Ravenna, I guess he dipped in like 2 months. And they felt like he like did them wrong or whatever. I was like,
I didn't want him around.
I was like,
Like,
well, how much was he paying you guys to live there? Because you're like, oh, he's only responsible for the cable bill and this, but he was also paying them $200 a week.
A week?
A week to live there.
That's why they haven't asked for money lately.
$800 a month.
No wonder he
Plus,
left.
he had to pay their cable bill, and got behind 2 months.
Dad told me that he was charging him $400 a month.
No, double.
It was probably $400 a month to stay there, but then on top of the other bills, it ended up becoming $200 a week.
I'm just saying that's what
Yeah.
Dad was telling me before, because he asked me what I pay, and I was like, well, it depends on my check. I was like because the original agreement was $375. I was like, I try to give Kevin whatever I'm able to depending on my check. And I was like, so normally I try to pay him at least $400 a month. I try to give him $200 per pay at least. Sometimes I'll throw in a little more.
Yeah, and that
if I'm
covers
able to.
the electric bill.
And he was like, all right, that's reasonable. He was like, because I charged Dale $400 a month, and he was bitching about that. He was like, so maybe you should talk to him and tell him what you pay. And
No.
How about you just say, hey, you pay $400 for your room, and you buy your own food, and
Simple.
that's it. You shouldn't need any more than that, because you both get, on top of Jerry's Social Security, and no, he's not disability, just Social Security, but he gets pension for his dad's death. That's not called pension. I don't remember what the fuck it's called.
It's something weird.
And then Dad gets disability, and then Mom gets, what'd she get? She finally got disability.
6 or 7, I think.
So their $500 a month fucking payment for rent, fucking Dale was covering that, plus the rest of the bills, all on what he was paying. So what the fuck are they doing with $1,400 to $1,800 of their own money?
well, I thought Jerry himself was getting like $1,200 a month.
Oh yeah, Dad gets
He's
what, 8, and Mom gets 7.
Yeah.
So it's what, 8? That's $2,700 a month, and Dale's paying all the bills.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going through $2,700 a month on what?
Now,
Cell phones.
Yeah, and Dale was on their cell phone plan, so I mean, but if he's paying for it, then technically he's paying for their cell phones too.
well, it gets worse.
Oh, I can't wait.
So he leaves, and Mom is just in the background going on this rant. Yeah, if I would have known he was going to fuck us like this, we wouldn't have never let him move in
Fuck
the
you
second
by
time.
not giving you money, you selfish fucking bitch.
Gets worse.
Okay.
Keep it going. So then,
Oh, I forgot Dad's pot habits. Another fucking $2,000 a month. That's probably why.
oh, probably easily. So then they go on, oh, I don't know how we're going to make this. And you hear Mom Bart, well, there's not going to be Christmas near this. Same thing she says every fucking year. Every year.
We don't have any money for Christmas.
No Thanksgiving, no
Dad
Christmas.
smoked all the Christmas trees.
No nothing. Oh my gosh. So then whatever, all that shit goes down. He calls me the next day. After apparently they talked or whatever.
Then you want to move in?
No.
Gee, you and your friend
No.
want to move in?
That's
$400 a piece.
No.
That's probably why he was calling me earlier.
Mom and Dad are probably sitting opposite of each other because I can hear them both. Like,
Yeah,
or it's on
always,
speakerphone or whatever. And it's just Mom. Dad called me, but it's Mom the whole time.
Yeah, I get that too from them.
And Mom's like, hey,
Trying to be all soft,
she's like,
sweet.
when we call or text Kevin or Keith, it's like they usually don't answer, or it's like a day or two later that they'll call us back and let us know like whatever happened. They couldn't get hold of us or whatever. But since you talk to them more, can you ask them if they wouldn't mind putting more money on Missy's commissary?
I thought she had something a month.
I went.
What the fuck did she need?
I went so silent, and she thought I hung up. It was literally like 2 minutes. She's like, I think he hung. Hello? I was like, no, I'm here.
Why
But what am I fucking supposed to say
put
about
you
that?
in that position?
Can I
What?
talk to you guys and ask you? if
No, you don't need
you're
commissary.
willing-
Live off of what the fuck they give you. You did this. I'm not giving
Exactly.
you fucking
I was like,
anything.
well, how much were you giving her? She's like, well, I was giving her $100 a week.
For what?
That's what I said. I was like, Mom, are you kidding me? I was like 20 at most. And what does that just get her? Like her shampoo and what else? Everything else should be free.
She gets fed.
Free hots and a cot. That's why it's called that.
If you don't get the commissary, they'll still give you the shampoo and shit. They add that on to your fines when you get out on your court cost.
That's why I asked. I was like, well, how
How much shampoo
and when
did she
did
use
she
for
get out?
$100 a week?
That's what I said. I was like,
Exactly.
when did
Just
she
fucking
get
washing
out?
her hair nonstop?
She was like, well,
Like crackhead.
in like a
I
month.
can't get the bugs out.
In a month. I was like, then I felt like saying, then no. Like, no. Why the fuck would I? And why are you going through me to ask them?
What the fuck? No.
Exactly. That's what I said. I was like, when did she get out? And she's like, well, like a month.
Not just no. Hell fucking no.
She needs to suffer. That's the whole fucking point of this.
Stop babying her when she fucked up and then cry about it when we make fun of her.
Stop enabling her.
Yeah.
That's why she's in the position she's in. Because Mom's enabled everything that she's done
And
her
she's-
entire
And she's
fucking
probably getting more money than anyone else in there. And they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
like, oh, wow, she must come from a wealthy family. Well, maybe we can trade favors for money. And, like, she probably still is able to get some sort of jobs because it's not
Yeah, no.
impossible.
That's why she goes to that conditioner. It's smoother. Oh, it's an all-girls facility. Never mind.
Yeah.
She's not giving HJs in there. But she might be.
Oh, finger
There might be
loose.
some trainings. Or butt stuff.
It's like $100. Yeah, I need fucking lotion for my bedpost.
But yeah, that shit blew my fucking mind.
And I haven't heard from them. And when was this? They asked
This
that.
was probably like 3 days ago.
3 days ago?
Whenever I text you, it got worse, and you're like, I can't wait. Thursday?
Yeah, I think it was probably Thursday. What the fuck?
And I was like, I'm just gonna fucking like let them know, but that's up to them to respond after that. And but, like next time I call you and you're gonna ask about it, I'll be like, well, I let them know. Like
They didn't say if they could or
they
not.
didn't say if they could or not, but they had their own shit going on.
What the fuck?
But then I have a
I'm
feeling
trying
she's
to
gonna
buy
be
a
like, well,
fucking car. Why
well-
would I pay Missy?
can you?
Unless she's
Can-
got a
can
car.
you-
on her.
$100
I bet
for
you
the
she-
next 3
I
weeks?
guarantee you that's the next question. That's why she didn't
No,
ask me
dude,
at first.
$300. That's probably what they were taking the money from Dale for.
And they were probably giving her more.
And that's why Mom got so pissed off too in the background, saying like, "I knew he was gonna do this. Now I can't give my fucking greedy, selfish daughter who's spoiled any fucking money
You're gonna fuck my sister
for all her
or
lotions."
my daughter.
Ew, which one? You're gonna fuck your aunt? Wow.
Yeah.
They are pieces of fucking shit. Selfish pieces of shit. Why would they
They're the
care
worst.
so much?
They're the worst.
And they don't do anything. Like, I could see if they're like taking his money and saving it up so they could do something. But they don't do anything. And they don't have any money. Even though they have plenty of fucking money. There's more money going into that house than going into my house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they signed a 4-year contract for that house. If you do the math and what they're paying, they're not getting that house for what they thought they were. They're paying $20,000 more.
I already knew that when I started signing the paperwork.
And they're paying more than I am at my house. A month.
What are they paying now?
$1,280 something.
That's my mortgage.
$1,280 something.
But then they're saying, oh, once it's paid off and we own it, then
we're moving.
We're gonna sell it. You're not gonna get anything from it. You're gonna get less than what you fucking paid for it. You are. It's fuck. No one wants to live there. I looked around the area to see what the houses are going for. 20,000, 30,000. There's a couple of houses down the road selling for like $8,000.
It's not
12,000.
It's not a nice neighborhood.
That's why, yeah. That's why everything's so cheap. I'm like, yeah, this dude, he made out. He sold you the house because there's no way anyone around there can sell a house for that price unless you're at least about 4 streets over where it starts to get nicer. Heading towards that gas station. You go
Yeah,
over.
the west, or the, what would that be?
That'd be east.
East side.
You start heading over there, it starts to get a little bit nicer, and some of those houses are selling still $50,000.
Yeah, there's some that are still boarded up.
Yeah, the dude told me when I was signing, he's like, well, the fees for all the paperwork and all that's included, but there's going to be like tax on top of this, which I won't be able to tell you what that is until you get the loan, and then there's the interest from the loan that you'd have to get. So this dude is factoring in all of the costs that he said he was going to pay when I said I was going to buy the house into their payment, so he doesn't have to fucking pay anything.
Yeah.
And so everything's profit for him.
Which is smart on his part.
Well, yeah, because he's got 2 Dunkafucks to feed off of.
And every time he's doing it, mom and dad are just bobbleheads. Yep.
Yeah, you're smart. You own half of it. You're gotta be a genius.
Yeah. A genius.
You know what's fucked up thing Dad said the last time I talked to him on the phone? Is when he's asking about us helping with those stupid skids. And then I was like, oh, I can't wait to tell Don this too. And he said something about, oh, the lawnmower. You let me borrow the lawnmower because mine's fucked up. And he's like, yeah, Don's got that's a nice mower he's got. His is nicer than mine. He's like, hell, everything he has is nicer than mine. And every time I turn around, the little bastard makes me jealous. He's got a nicer house than I do. He's got a pool. I don't have a fucking pool. He's got a better lawnmower than I do. He's got a better truck. Well, I wouldn't say a better truck, but my truck's been pretty good to me. And I was just like, wow, that's pretty shitty. Would you rather him be doing worse? And then I can hear Mom, obviously. So she's like, well, him and Molly work really hard for everything they have, and they deserve it. And I'm like, wow, that's the most sensible thing that she's ever fucking said. Because
I would have never heard her say that.
She knew that I was going to say something. She knew, like, oh, wait, you just said that out loud to Kevin? Like, they're pretty close. They're brothers. They talk and get along. So, like, it clicked in her head. They work really hard for everything that they have. He's like, well, maybe one day, best I can hope for is to go to a nice retirement home that has a pool. And Mom's like, well, if you don't knock it off, you're going to be there soon. He's like, please.
Back to their all in the family speech.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty.
I was like, wow.
Pretty shameful.
Yeah. Oh, so you'd rather him be doing worse? You'd want him to be like Missy?
And when I heard that,
Wow.
I was like, why would you be jealous? Isn't that something that you should be proud of?
Yeah. But that's how selfish they are. They think about themselves in every fucking situation. They do not care about anyone else. And what's fucked up is when
You had the opportunity before I ever did to be better.
yeah, growing
And you failed
multiple
every fucking time.
And it's their toxicity between each other. They feed off of each other's fucking negativity that makes them that way. All the bad shit that mom does and all the bad shit that dad does, they fucking magnetize each other and continually do dumb, bad, stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, wow, I would hope in my fucking heart that my son does better than I fucking did.
Yeah.
It just brought me down.
There's all. That's just how they've always been too. Like,
when you got this house?
I do wish better, and they don't. They feel they deserve fucking everything. They feel everybody fucking owes them. But it's hard to think when I'm a kid and I looked up to Dad and all the sacrifices he did make for us before he got with Mom and all the things that he would give up to give to us and not fucking eating dinner because we didn't have enough food so that we all could get full. What happened to that fucking dude?
Just brainwashed.
Mom, that's what happened to him.
Just like Missy. He'll talk shit to us about her, but if Mom's around, he will be a totally different person.
Oh yeah.
He might say a couple cruel things, but well, she is doing better. And
yeah, it's because it's Mom's.
It's like a fucking Lifetime movie.
It's got to be
it's Misery. Literally.
With two S's.
Except she never hit him with a hammer. His legs just went out.
It's Misery.
It's bankruptcy.
What, 3 times they filed bankruptcy?
I think it's 4.
4?
More than that? Yeah.
Jesus, God.
What was the first one?
The first one was
Wyndham. When we lived in that trailer by the train tracks.
Yeah.
Behind the junkyard was way in the back. Or the scrapyard.
Before we moved.
When we had that pool and the fucking wiener dog.
Yeah, they never did. We had a fucking pool, which Dad was pissed off that
bankruptcy on a trailer.
Hold on. We had a pool and never fucking
once
used it.
Never once.
They never kept it up. They never did anything to it. We moved in and it was there. It needed cleaned out, refilled. They didn't ever fucking do it. But then he's going to say, oh, Don's got a pool and I don't have a pool. I'm jealous of the little bastard.
Well,
you call me that. You're my dad.
Maybe you're not.
Maybe that's why I was down here and you guys were in North Carolina.
That's like when he hauled my toolbox to work for me. He was telling me he's like at your age you should be doing a little better than what you are. And I was like, I pay $1,000 a month in child support. And in reality, I'm doing better than you are. That's what I told him. And
I'll fake this on your face.
Well, then he just got like all quiet for a while, and he was like, well, you do work every day. He was like, and that is a lot to pay in child support. He was like, that's bullshit that you even do pay that. He was like, so I guess for where you're at, he was like, you actually are probably doing better than me. And
but let me just keep retracting so it goes back to me.
Dude, I remember when I was a kid and when I asked him how old he was, and he said 33. And when I was really little, thinking like, oh wow, that's kind of old. And him living with us with his mom because he didn't fucking work enough or make enough to take care of us. I mean, he did get custody of us, but that's only because our mother gave us up in court. It's not that he was this superhero fucking dad who swept in, which is what I thought growing up, because he always talked all this shit about her, which she's a piece of shit. But it just made him seem that much better. Because
Yeah.
I didn't know any better.
And he had nothing back then. Even the car that he was driving to work then was Grandma's car.
Yeah.
It wasn't even his car.
He lived off of his parents until he was almost 40.
And had a job, wasn't paying child support or anything like that. I'm paying $1,000 a month from my checks in child support, and you want to talk about how bad I'm doing for myself? I feel like I'm doing fucking better than you are, considering.
Yeah, looking back at the time that the night I remember him not eating so that we could eat, he was drinking. He had money for beer, but wasn't going to eat the food that was in the house. Not because he didn't have money for it. He had the money, but he wanted the beer instead.
Because he was drowning in his own sorrow.
And
which is fine. I do. I drink all the time.
He made a comment about me drinking too, and he's like, especially with this job, because I was like, they're gonna put me through like a training course for diesels. He was like, well, then you need to stop drinking and do a schooling in the evening on diesels. And I was like, why? I'm doing the training at my job. They're training me.
And who is he to say when he was getting drunk at work?
That's what I was going to say. Probably because he had an experience when he was super drunk and learning how to run diesels, and he was like, oh, I remember him. I fucked up.
No, it's just that he wants to try to be a dad now when he didn't want to before. He wants to be this wise guy to give his sons this wisdom that we far surpassed him in. And especially in life lessons, because being woken up at 6 by your drunk dad standing over you with a belt because of something you did the day before, and him getting off of work at 6 o'clock in the morning because he worked the night shift and got so drunk at work. That puts things into perspective.
Or wake up to him kicking you in your ribs with his steel-toed boots on where he just came home from work.
Yeah.
Wearing fucking steel toes. And I'll never forget that. I woke up to that. Had no idea what the fuck I even did. Just woke up to him kicking me.
And Grandma
fucking
was feeding off of his negativity too, and she was sadistic when we were younger. Like, she was mean as fuck to me. Mean as fuck. Because I was the oldest and I would, like, talk back. I've always had a mouth and I would always just say shit. I guess I shouldn't have, but for her to get the satisfaction from something that happened the day before, be awake probably at 4 o'clock in the morning, she was an old lady, for Dad to get home at 6 o'clock, and her first thing to tell him, you know what your son did yesterday? He fucking did this. This is after she fucking smacked me across my mouth for it. And to make it such a big deal that Dad felt he had to come and wake me up with his belt standing over me, and she got some sort of gratification from that, oh, you're going to learn your lesson now, is fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's some movie shit for sure.
So
it's fucked up.
It's so weird that such level-headed people can come from that. When you look at rich or spoiled people like Missy, who had everything given to them, how fucked up they end up being.
What's she, 46? 45?
42, 43, somewhere around there. No, she's only 5 or 6 years older than me. Because I think I was like 11 or 12 when she was like 17, something like that. 16, 17, something around there. So, yeah, she's like 4 or 5 years older than me. Or 5 or 6 years. Either way.
Yeah, we're good people.
I mean, comparatively, like, I can look at those kind of situations now and think, like, wow. Like, I'm able to see how fucked up and how mentally unstable you are. And I've noticed when Aunt Donna and Chris moved in with her, how Chris would treat his son, that everyone started doing the same thing. Because Chris treated him like shit, it became this like weird atmosphere. It was like, oh, he gets treated like shit. Okay, everyone can treat him like shit then. Like he wasn't part of the family, and I guarantee he felt like he was never gonna be.
And Josh is cool as fuck.
And he's more level-headed than his dad ever
He's
was. He works every day.
Works.
He's intelligent. It's so weird that kids can grow up with traumatic childhoods and become. We probably definitely have some deep fucking.
Oh, for sure, we all do.
Darkness in us that we force down and don't let out, but these, rich kids, they just do it. They just feel like they can do whatever the fuck they want.
There's still times that I have dreams about that time when he was choking me, and I actually thought in that moment that I was gonna die. And I also have dreams about that and wake up feeling like I'm being choked, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in my room, and it's just a dream. I'm not a kid anymore.
Yeah, I remember that time when we lived in whatever trailer park it is by that Moose Lodge.
That's where it was.
And you left your it was like a Johnny O bag in the neighbor's trash, and it had your report card in it.
Yeah, well,
the papers
and it had your footsteps because it snowed outside. It had your footsteps all the way up.
That was my fault because I told him to do it, and I was still dumb and didn't think it through at all.
But I remember him and you being in the kitchen, and I remember you holding me back because I tried to run into the kitchen because I seen Dad like holding you by the neck, like showing you the trash bag. Like, I know this is you. It's got your fucking name on it. Why
he was holding me on the floor by my throat.
Yeah, that's beforehand because you tried to fight back.
I'm gasping for air.
Well, first he was like wrestling, like high school wrestling. Like he was over top of you, and you were like fighting him, like keeping yourself pushed up. And I remember him being like, "Oh, now you're gonna try to fucking fight me," and like knocked your arm out and like flipped you onto your back and put your hand on it. And I remember when you tried to run in there, I'm like, dude, you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah, you were like, no.
Because I could just see it. I envisioned you running in there because he did the same thing to me when I was like 3 years old. In the middle of the night, came home drunk and was fighting our real mother. And at that time, I barely knew him. I knew our real mom more than I knew him.
When he was on top of her,
he was there and shit. And he was doing the same shit. He would grab her by the hair, slammed her head against the floor, and was choking her. And I jumped, and she yelled, help, or something like that. And me being this little fucking kid jumped on his back and just started pulling at his hair. And he's like, get the fuck off me, and smacked me across the room, and I flew across the room. So I remember, and I just like curled up, like crying, like, oh fuck, I can't fucking do anything. And so I thought, I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. You're not a little 3-year-old kid, but I know you run in there and try to stop him, he's going to fucking knock you the fuck back. And so that's when I'm like, okay, I have to fucking stop it.
Damn, we went into the rabbit hole.
Yep. Alright, that's a good family reunion right
there. Off from that.
That's it, everyone.
Glad I saved all that.
Dad's cool at times, but there's definitely something fucked up. But he had everything. He had a good fucking childhood. He had a good fucking life. He had a good family. He had everything that he ever wanted. Never had to need for anything. And he ended
up, a car and get away with it.
He ended up fucked up. Donna, the most level-headed out of all of them, she had traumatic experiences. Her fucking brother, our uncle, tried to rape her. And she became the most level-headed out of any of them. Like, there has to be something about that. I'm pissed super fucking bad. Alright, that's it. Maybe we'll start up back where we left off.
Let's start better than that.